Hey. Time for an out-of-this-world story from rSpace. Sometimes we can sense it coming. Other times we're totally blindsided. Today on rSpace, we see two sides of the same coin. Up first, an OP sniffs out some bad eggs. Girlfriend and best friend? Hey guys, I'm really starting to question the relationship my girlfriend and best friend have. The proximity between them both, when we are around, has raised some concerns, and I feel like I don't even want them to be around one another. My best friend, who has been in my life for roughly 10-ish years, just recently got out of a toxic relationship. Over the past 6 months, I have been, with my girlfriend, talking and helping him move on. At one point, I even left my house in the middle of the night to check on him because I thought he was going to commit suicide. He's better now, but he still has a long way to go. So the reason I feel really uncomfortable is that my girlfriend has started texting him a lot more. We have an open phone policy, which I used to check more, but over the years, I stopped because I would have unwavering trust in her. Now she's constantly on it and is a bit more secretive with her phone, in my opinion. I don't want to tip her off, so I haven't asked to see her phone yet, but I want to. The last time we all hung out was around Halloween for a costume party. Really, it was just 5 people, my girlfriend and I, best friend, and 2 other mutuals. We all drank a lot and played video games together until it got late, and we had the idea to send someone to get food. My girlfriend was the only one sober to drive, so she was designated to go. I decided to stay because I was in the middle of a game with a friend, so I told my best friend to go with her, as I trust both of them. They didn't come back until 5:45 a.m. I left around 1 a.m. After about an hour in, I started getting worried and called to no answer from my girlfriend or best friend. I tried multiple different times, but again, nothing. Eventually, I just kept drinking until I forgot about it, as it was quite upsetting. When she got home, everyone was either asleep or going to bed, so I pulled her aside and demanded to know what she was up to. She said he started crying about his ex, and she didn't want to bring him back in that state, so she decided to park and talk to him until he got better. We went back and forth, but I didn't know what else to say. It was suspicious, to say the least. I had to drop it, though. No other evidence to say she did something. I moved on, but I'm still rather suspicious and anxious. We were hosting another party with roughly the same people for my birthday right after Christmas. I'm nervous of my girlfriend and best friend being close, but I don't want to make a scene. So what do I do? We've been together for 5 years, and I really want this relationship to work, so I'm really nervous on what to do. My mind is starting to think the worst. Thanks in advance. Update. Went through her phone. Thanks so much for the advice and support I've gotten this far. A lot commented and messaged me giving their thoughts, and I just want to say thank you again. A lot of you pointed out how my situation sounds similar to stories on Reddit of a partner cheating with a close friend. I've been reading a few, and honestly I'm scared. It's eerily similar. So I went through her phone Saturday night to hopefully find some answers. When she fell asleep, I went straight to her messages with my best friend. My heart was racing. I didn't find anything compelling as far as if she's cheated on me, but I did notice that they text a lot, like nearly daily. A lot of "what's up" and "how are you" coming from my girlfriend. This obviously isn't damning, but it gives credit to my feelings of them being very close. I'm not a huge fan of that, especially when she's not being forthcoming and giving proper reassurances. Another thing I found is that she has vented to my best friend over a petty fight we had approximately a week ago. She didn't trash me or anything, but this is really uncommon coming from her. She's a secretive person with her personal life and especially our fights. He also didn't dog me or anything, but I feel like it's a massive red flag combined with the context. I also looked for any messaging apps, WhatsApp, Snapchat, etc., and didn't find anything compelling. I should mention that my partner is very skilled with technology, so hiding evidence from me might not be that hard. It makes me think if there is a secret app I'm not aware of, or even if she deleted the damning messages, isn't hard. She does have a work phone, but I'm not quite sure how to get my hands on it, let alone know the passcode. I just feel paranoid. Everything seemed so good between the two of us, but now it all feels like a nightmare. Am I an a-hole for being suspicious? Is she really just trying to be a good friend? Am I overreacting? I really want this to work, but my mind is effed trying to calm myself. What am I going to do? Well, I don't want to tip them off by asking either of them about it. I feel they will go underground further with the evidence. It bothers the hell out of me, but I want the truth and I'm willing to wait to 100% know. I think my best course of action would be to continue to monitor how she behaves and how they act at the party. I'm going to stay sober, as a few of you suggested. Maybe a few beers, but nothing major. I feel like you're valid to have these feelings, OP. Sometimes we have to trust our gut. Just because the convo seems fine on the surface doesn't mean they're not having some sort of emotional relationship with each other. Just because he's your best friend doesn't mean that your girlfriend should be reaching out to him and venting about arguments that you two have with each other. It seems like that should be something that stays within the relationship. Girlfriend and best friend update. Venting. I have started to go out more recently, mostly to keep my mind occupied. I've been to the gym and occasionally meet up with coworkers for pickup sports. It's been great for my mental and physical health. The day before Christmas Eve, I thought I would try changing things up and come home a few hours before I normally do when I go to the gym. When I walked in, she was cooking in the kitchen and had a recipe on her phone and was laying unattended on the counter. I said hello to her, and as I walked by the phone towards the cupboard for a cup, her phone lit up with a text message photo from none other than best friend. Before she even knew she had a text, I grabbed the phone, unlocked it, and saw what I'd been after. They were both sending nudes to one another. Or, that's all I saw because I immediately confronted her. I asked her, "What the F is this?" She looked at me, and I could immediately tell she knew what I was referring to. She went straight into damage control mode, trying to convince me it was a stupid mistake and she just got carried away because of the attention. It's my best effing friend. I asked her how long this had been going on, to which she replied, recently, roughly a month or so, but I don't know, could be longer. She just started weeping and apologizing over and over. I then started grilling her on what actually happened the night of the Halloween party because now I don't believe a word she says. Girlfriend admitted that something did go on that night. She had tears streaming down her face and looked nauseous. She paused for a good minute or so and then told me he asked for a blowjob. At first she said no, but then she gave in and did it. She kept saying, "It didn't mean anything," and "I was just trying to make him feel better. I'm sorry." What the F? I can't even begin with my best friend. When I heard all of this, I just broke down crying. My heart was shattered into a million pieces by the two closest people in my life. My girl who I practically worshipped just goes and does that with my best friend? And of all people, what the actual F? Why the F would you do that to someone you love? Maybe I was just angry, but I said to her, "Why wouldn't you guys just go the full mile and just F? Why just a BJ?" She responded that she would never do that, and to please believe her. I guess in her mind, a BJ isn't that bad? How could I when she just admitted to cheating on me? I yelled at her that I don't believe her and that I'm done with this whole effing relationship. She started crying hysterically and grabbed onto my arm, which I pulled away immediately. After going back and forth for what felt like forever, I got up, told her to get the F out of my place. It was a struggle to get her out of the door, but eventually she left. I've gotten blasted with texts and phone calls from her begging for a second chance. I know you guys told me, but F, I don't think anyone can be prepared for this, let alone accept your partner, who you adore, can betray you so easily. Not to mention, and I didn't originally include it, but my best friend is also my cousin. It's your best friend as well. I still love her, but I can't accept a betrayal this massive. All I'm thinking is 5 whole years down the drain. I feel hopeless and destroyed. I just hope I can pull myself out of this. On top of it all, this happened right before Christmas Eve, which is usually the day we go to celebrate with her family. I decided to just stay home and played video games all day. Thanks for the support and advice. It did help me a lot, so I'm forever grateful. I'm just going to try to pick up the pieces. This is the worst case scenario, but I think I'm strong. Let's see what the community says. Creative Might 3128 says, "Dang shame. No one deserves to find out like that just before the holidays. You should give your best friend, cousin, the gift of exposing him to y'all's family, so they can see the scumbag that he is. Stay up, champ. A new year is coming soon." No Idea 19 says, "Sorry, guy, this really sucks. I know this won't make sense now, but when you say 5 years down the drain, believe me, it could have been worse. You could have been married with kids. It could have gone on longer. Like I said, it sucks and is raw now. I wouldn't put too much stock in her BJ story. I mean, does really only take a guy to look at her with puppy dog eyes and ask for a BJ and she says sure? And I think it wouldn't have taken 5 hours. Plus, that was Halloween. What have they been up to for the last 2 months? And do you really think that was the first time? Well, I guess it really doesn't matter now that it's over. I would only add that you inform your family why you ended things with your girlfriend. Let them know what kind of a-hole your cousin is. This is rough because it's not only your girlfriend, but it's your best friend as well. 2 people that you should trust no matter what. For your friend of 10 years to do something like that to you, gosh, I'm sorry, OP. I'm glad you stuck with your gut and kept looking for evidence in foul play. I think the comments do have some valid points as well. All it took was puppy dog eyes? What if this wasn't the first time? And if you hadn't found out, I'm almost positive it wouldn't have been the last. Yikes. I hope you find someone who doesn't crack under the pressure. Do you have a similar story? Let us know in the comments below. Next up, an admission that came out of the blue. My husband is divorcing me after I found out he's cheating from the other woman's husband. Using my throwaway account and not my main. I just want to scream into the void. I'm so lost and in utter shock. My husband and I are coming up on being together for 5 years, and we've been good friends for 8 years. I woke up at 10 a.m. yesterday to a text from his coworker's husband saying I really need to talk to him about what's going on. I immediately wake him up and ask him. He admits to cheating on me with the wife of the guy who texted me. They both know who I am, as we just went out clubbing with this other married couple the night before. They all work together, but the wife and my husband work in the same department. Apparently, it happened at work on Tuesday, and they've been flirting all week over text and had lunch with each other on Thursday. The other woman's husband found out the last message between them that they didn't delete and confronted her, and she admitted it. Then, he told me, thankfully, this isn't even the only layer. After my husband came clean, we had to sit and have a long, hard talk of what to do next. I do not condone cheating, but I also believe in commitment. After a long back and forth, he comes to some self-realization that although everything we've been through was real, he just doesn't want to be married and doesn't want to do this with me anymore, and that he's divorcing me. That simply nothing between us will ever be the same, and he needs to focus working on himself without worrying about our marriage. He said he's just super depressed and basically wants out and to let me move on. I'm in another country with this guy, and it's not so easy for me to just hop back over to the States. This was also so out of the blue. To say we've been really good these past 3 months would be an understatement. Our sex, communication, ability to do things for each other, etc. have all been so good. Our dream huge wedding was supposed to be in April, and we have people who already bought plane tickets that we now have to tell them all that not only is the wedding not happening, but we're also separating. I even asked him what would have happened had I not found out, and he said that pretty much everything would have stayed the same, and the wedding would have just went on. I'm literally so blindsided, and my whole world is crashing around me, but I can do nothing but be as sane as possible to get the hell out of here and back to my family at home. I have no real friends here, as we've only been living in this country for 8 months, and making friends here is really not easy. I'm just stuck in the same house as him, and seeing him now just makes me shudder like a stranger has entered my home. I am a really independent woman with an education, and I'm not worried about my future moving on from this marriage. But the utter emotional turmoil and distress I've been going through in the last 24 hours makes me feel like everything is impossible to do right now. Sorry this is all over the place. You can ask me any questions about it and I'll answer. I just don't know how we went from having a good normal week and a fun weekend out to having a really serious talk about divorce. Edit. We are married and just having the wedding at a later time. Just wanted to clarify that since a lot of people asked. The community has some thoughts. A robotic camera 4896 says, sounds like he has taken the easy way out of this. If I were you, when you tell people the wedding is off, tell them why. He seems to not want to have any accountability with his actions, so he just wants to end it and work on himself alone. Empty Education 4240 says, it might not feel like it now, but you got lucky. Think about the positives. He married you, even though he doesn't want to be married. This could have been 5 to 15 years down the line. There could be children involved that he got cheated out of a standard life because he lied. You could have just built your dream home and now have to sell it due to division of assets, losing other assets, retirement funds, and so forth. You might be hurting now. You took damage, but nothing you cannot recover from. This sucks and I feel for you, but you completely dodged a much worse situation long term. Keep your chin up. Think as positive as possible. You will get through this. End it, divorce, go no contact. You can do much better. The OP replies, yeah, I've been trying to say this to myself a lot too. Everything that's mine is mine. We are splitting our money down the middle, no pets or kids, and we didn't pay the rest of the wedding, so we get to keep that money. I'm ready to go home and move on from this. I'm so sorry, OP. This definitely isn't an ideal situation to be in when you find out your partner is cheating. I can't imagine being in a different country and away from my friends and family while trying to deal with something so traumatic and stressful. And as for continuing on with the wedding, this is something that I just will never understand. She would never wanted to just continue on and slowly burn down everything that the two of you created for each other. If he had chose feelings of not wanting to be with you or continue on with this, he should have stepped up and took some responsibility. Instead, he's just really left you to pick up the pieces. I'm sorry. Please try to get out of that house if you are able. I think in order to properly heal after something like this, it's important to do so in a safe place, and that's just no longer anywhere with him. Thoughts? What would you do? And thank you for joining us today on rSpace. Like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on our next video. We'd hate for you to miss it. If you want to listen to more stories from me, check out our lounge, where I feature a larger variety of non-cheating related stories. See you there.